High-risk investment. Trading on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Market opinions. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained on this video is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. Master the Markets will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to any loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information.
Hi traders, welcome to our live trading workshop webinar. Today we are here live from London with my really good friend Gavin Holmes from Trade Guider, CEO of Trade Guider, and his team over here. We got really some great trades setting up today, live trading workshop. You know, the main purpose of it is to trade live, to show you real trades setting up with real traders who are trading for real, so that we can give you the truth and the transparency of trading. So here, just quickly, just to start off, and then we will see what Gavin has got some trades setting up as well. We got some that is going on here in silver. We just got some positions here, and we are going long on that. And our trail and our initial stop loss was here at 27.62. And then what we are doing is we're doing a trailing stop to the low of that bar. I'm trading that on 1 hour. Very shortly, we'll give you the rule sets for this simple strategy that we've put together, including price and volume. S&P as well, we've taken that on a short, and I'm sure Gavin will be talking about that very shortly too. On this break, where there was a trend change over here, okay, that's what our signals on the trend box over here has also said, and I'm sure that's picked up by the VSA scanner too over here as well, right? So on the trend is a phase one. We took it on the trend change over here, where I took it out 5033 and stop loss over here. Very shortly, I'll be giving all the rule sets for this, but before that, just a quick handover to Gavin to see what his trade setups are looking at, and I will give you a quick rule set. Hi, Gavin, welcome.
Yeah, hi, Tiru. Thank you, and thanks to Karen and everyone at Master the Markets. Welcome to you all for what proves to be today, I'm certain, a very, very enlightening webinar. Many of you know, some of you are new. We've got a lot of new people into our database in the last 2 days, and I'm not sure why. But if you're new to this, Tiru Nagapan is the Managing Director at Master the Markets. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Trade Guider Systems International and the author of Trading in the Shadow of the Smart Money and the Complete Volume Spread Analysis System Explained. Now, what we're going to do today is show you the actual live. We're not going to use PowerPoints, okay? We're not going to go back in the past and cherry pick and say, oh, well, that looked good, and we're going to show you actual setups, and there's several that are coming. Now, if I may, Tiru, can I take the screen and I'll just show
So yep. I'll just stop the share.
Yeah, and I'll just say,
yeah, there you go.
Share screen, okay, and I'll stop my video as well, so you can all see me. That's fine. In my 17th century cottage. So Tiru's got a really nice modern property up in the centre of London. I'm stuck in the middle of a barn in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by pigs and donkeys, as you all know. But regardless of that, let's share the screen. Good to see you all here. Okay, so Tiru, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it nice and clear. If you guys can see Gavin's screen as well, please post it in the chat. That'd be really great. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, everybody. So now, I mean, just briefly, my background is law enforcement, and then I left and started my own businesses, and then 25 years ago found the volume spread analysis method, and I met Tiru an exhibition several years ago now. And the book that was written by the man that taught me to trade, there was 2 books, actually, The Undeclared Secrets That Drive the Stock Market, and a book called Master the Markets. And I saw this banner in this exhibition. It said, Master the Markets. I said, someone's copying us. Can't believe it. And I walked over, and lo and behold, I met Tiru. And it was a complete coincidence. He hadn't copied anything. It's just that that's what they called it. It was a total coincidence. But we've become incredibly good friends since. And we work together to educate and to teach people. We call it the truth about the markets. Of course, everyone's going to say we're telling you the truth. Well, we'll prove it today, because I'm going to show you now some very interesting stuff. And I've got running here SMI, which is Tiru's product. We just had an indicator on the 1 minute chart of gold, just came in, confirmed, supply coming in. All right, look at the volume, narrow spread, closed in the middle, and you're going to hear in the background some noises. Now, I've had this computer running, and I'm actually broadcasting from my front room, and my cleaning lady Dawn is here, and we went out, and when I walked back in, she said, "Oh my goodness, Gavin," she said, "something's going on." I said, "What do you mean?" "I keep hearing shotguns and doorbells." I realised I'd left everything on, so all the trade alerts, and she kept going to the front door 4 times to open the door. There's no one there. I said, no, you're going to hear these noises because we've programmed them in to the software. Now you can see up here, right? I'm going to put up the scanner first of all, because there's a few things we're going to talk about today. But we can see here Smart Center Pro, which is what we sell. I use this I'm the head trader at Wyckoff Williams Investments Gibraltar Limited, and there's multiple time frames. So here I've programmed in 3 different strategies that we can use. All right, now you can see here that we've got flashing going on, right? And it's like here it's going red, and here on some of the stocks longer term, which is another strategy that I've just developed. It's fairly new. Okay, we can see gold, we can see all of these different instruments. Now, the scanner is looking for unusual volume. Now, if I look at the British pound, which is where I've been making most of my money, we can see a very interesting situation right now. Okay, and I did it on YouTube a few weeks or a few days ago, right? I talked about the trap up move, the trap up move, the trap up move, the trap up move, the trap up move. Very common. Let's go to that chart, and then I'll get Tiru to give you some analysis as well. Now, the ES today has also made a move, which we both spotted. We just move that out of the way for a second. And what I'm going to do here is come back to the British pound to start with. Okay, now I'm going to put up the 1 minute chart. 1 minute, yeah, 1 minute chart. Look at this up here. Supply entering the market. And then here you're going to see the SMI indicator picks it up perfectly, by the way, as it does here, as well as it does here. And then if I go to a 5 minute chart, which is what I'm going to be trading today, you can see the same situation, right? The trap. Now, it's not ready to, if you've missed that move, which I didn't, but if you missed that move, it will set up again. Okay, and what we can see here in NinjaTrader, which is what I'm using today, I could use TradingView, I could use TradeStation, I could use other programs. I'm going to MT5, MT4, we support all of those. But what the scanner is going to do is it's going to tell me when to take the next trade. Now, here, I'm going to reset or restore all the instruments for scanning. And what I'm going to do is pick on any stock that you wish to pick on. We'll do it at the end and put it in the scanner. I'm currently showing you the stocks that we are following in Wyckoff Williams. So you can see there Adobe, Nvidia, Garmin, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Baidu, Intuit, Costco, Tesla, eBay, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. They're just a few. We're actually following a lot more than that. But now I've restored them.
Has arrived.
Okay.
Sign
now
of strength has arrived.
Okay, so we can see straight away the NASDAQ. All right. Just reset it. Okay, so it's immediately said, go and have a look at the NQ, the NASDAQ. Okay, we go to the 1 minute chart first. Small time
Sign
frame.
of weakness has arrived.
And we look in the background, and there's a supply. Everything that Tiru and I teach you is very much based around volume and price action. And indeed, the smart money indicator, as you can see up here at the top, it tells me the trend is down. It gives me my swing high, my swing low, and now I'm looking for an upthrust here. Now, if that happens, all I'm going to do, just to make it very straightforward for you, is I'm going to make sure that the cross is in the red box, which it is. Okay. And on all of these things, when we look at like crude oil, they're all starting to turn negative, which is why you've got all these very, very interesting setups coming in. Here, let me just put this on. We can see the trap up move, which I talked about earlier. We saw on the 2-minute chart the no demand, and now it's starting to test, basically, the test. So do I expect to see higher prices in the NASDAQ at the moment? Absolutely. It should bounce a little bit because it's had a big decline. But in that decline, we have seen all the principles of VSA and SMI all working together. I'll let Tiro explain this to you and this to you, but it's a confirmation signal. Okay, and what this is, let me just give you an analogy before I hand back to Tiro, is this is like you are the pilot, you're the trader, you're the investor. This is your instrument panel. It's what we sell. It's not a black box system. It never was never designed to be a black box system. It's very much about looking at trend alignment, support and resistance, which I'll talk about later, and then directional movement. What is the systems, the two combined, the SMI indicator with VSA, showing us? Well, quite clearly from this point here, where you've got the blue indicator, which is not VSA, it's SMI, and Tiro can explain that. The little dot, which is a confirmation of that, but that's our indicator. Supply coming in, and you can see the move, quite significant on this 1-minute chart already. Okay, and it could go further. So with that being said, I'm going to hand back to Tiro, who can now start to talk about the SMI indicator, how it works with volume spread analysis. And look, if you
weakness has arrived.
Okay, we're getting well, Tiro, you and I said we're going to get a busy day today. We didn't know.
Yeah,
but
so true.
Yeah. So Tiro, back over to you because there's a lot going on. If I see something and I'm going to take it, I'll shout.
Yeah, you know what? I'll start off with the S&P, I think, because, I think that's a really good one for the guys to learn from because it's directly happening as of now. I think, can you guys see my screen okay? And you can see the S&P chart on TradingView?
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm here on TradingView, and I know most of you got this one as well. We just did a latest update by our programmers and coders where you can see the trend box now as well on the phase 1 move. Right now, S&P is on a phase 1 downtrend move, right? And this is on the 1-hour time frame, which I'm looking at. I'm just looking at spot, by the way, but the principles are all the same. And we can take a look at the futures one as well. I've got the futures here too, as well, and it will show you almost similar thing as well, right? I'm sure Gavin will go through the principles here on the volume side of things too. So when I take a look on the S&P, so I think let's start off so that I want to give you a few rule sets and what Gavin has given as well, build up on it so that you guys can also look at this kind of trades when you're by yourself, okay? Right, so let's go and take a look at the first step, what you should be looking at. One thing as a guideline, what you can do to combine both our SMI and the VSA scanners. First is, look at the Smart Center Pro scanner. Yeah, I talked about this last time in part 1, yeah? And it's all on YouTube on both our channels. If you want to go and look at the Strategy 1, part 1. This is part 2, so I'll go a bit more in detail. So Smart Center Pro scanner, once it gives that signal of all turning red, right? That's your sign of going on a short. That's the first sign, yeah? But me and Gavin will tell you that just because of one signal, you just can't go and jump in. It's because, as we always keep reiterating, these are not buy and sell signals. They need to come as a confluence of factors with your strategy rules. So that's the first thing, okay? Smart Center Pro firing off and giving you a signal, right? In this case, it would have given you a signal to go short. The second thing is you can marry that up with a smart money indicator, also giving you a signal of a downtrend. Basically, trend alignment is what Gavin was talking about, where it tells you it's also flagging up on a downtrend, and especially we're looking at phase 1s. Okay, phase one moves is what we are looking for. As I would usually say, you know what, the price never moves in a straight line. Gavin would say, you know, yeah, price moves in a snake, which is like a cycle, right? I don't like snakes, but it's a nice analogy to use. But so you see, when you got a downtrend like this, right, what we want to be trading is not this phase where it's a counter trend or retracement, if you call it. We call that the phase two. So we want that to come back into phase one, and that's the one where we got our trend alignment, okay? Now, to get those kind of trend alignments, let me go through this in the S&P. When did that happen, actually? So let me do a quick replay mode. So just to give you an idea, the entry where we came in, before I explain why we entered where it is, 5033, stop loss was for here at 5049, and the target here is at 4993, okay? I'll explain all that in a minute, how we derive all of that. Right, so now coming back, how do I do the trend alignment and find out that it's the phase one move over here? So to do that, let me just quickly go into replay. Before that move came, which would have fired off on trade guided systems as well, you can see that as of now, right, this was, if I were to turn that into a line diagram, connect all the arrows, because that's the framework that we got, which is quite powerful and gives you the market structure, which was talked about Linda Bradford as well on the STA conference. If I connect all those lines here, you can see that's your market structure there. This is what we got, something very unique, and that's what we combined together with Trade Guider, because we got the market structure and combine a volume that becomes very powerful. So as you can see over here, this low was actually a bit more higher. So there was compression here that was happening, right? And once this low is taken out is where the trend box will start to change. So if I were to play that now, and you will see that, you see, that's when it changes into a phase one. Because once it's taken out that low over there in that compression, which I spoke about, there's a market structure failure that happens. And that turns the trend, is what we call a trend change. And then it resumes in its downtrend once it took out that level where we entered at 5033. Okay, that's your downtrend, and that is your phase one move because it's in alignment with the trend. So that's the second thing you look at. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Short NASDAQ.
All right, NASDAQ. Yeah. Shall we come to that in a minute? Why don't you want to?
No, I've already got short, and so has some of the other guys. Just to let you know, it's going down. 17,360 target.
Okay, nice one. Yes, I like that. So we'll revert to that very quickly, traders. Once I've gone through the rules, I'm very short anyway. 10 minutes would be able to cover 5 to 10 minutes. So that's your second rule that you got, which is your trend alignment with the SMI, and which we got on the S&P at the moment, right? And a downtrend phase one. So that's a tick and a take. And then what you then do, if you do get a dot as well, which is a confirmation bar, the SMI dot as well, then that is a double tick as a bonus. And the fourth thing is look for some volume spikes that come in. And if I go on to a lower time frame for that, and I'm sure Gavin will be talking more about that, you can see that volume spike, more confirmation here, right? Adds on to it. And if I go on to a 5 minute, that will show you more as well. And look at also how when the price moves to the volume, everything changes to phase one, even on the lower time frames. That's when you got a really high probability trade as well. Okay, so that's all what we are looking for. And once you got all of that, additional thing that you can also look at is if you take a look over here, it's taken out the lower stretch. So another thing that we look at is the stretch lines. This gives us a bigger probability towards where the range, the bigger range from the open is going to form for today. For those of you who want to go and look at the stretch principle quite a bit, you can always go on to our YouTube channel. I'll just show it to you very quickly here. /MasterTheMarkets, which is there. And then you can go and join us on the channel, and you can see on the playlist here, right? You can go and check the stretch principle videos, yeah? So that will give you a more understanding as well on how we take a look in terms of the bar formation for the day. When you combine all of this together, I tell you, you get really, really high probability trades. So that's the fifth thing I would look at. It's if it's correlating with the stretch principle. As of this S&P trade, which is a very high probability trade, what we have got is, traders, we got the Smart Center Pro scanner firing off, SMI aligning with a phase 1 on the 1 hour time frame, and the SMI dot coming in as well over here, the top confirming, volume, confirming it on all time frames. And then the fifth thing is the lower stretch line, which I've got here, also being taken out. So all a tick, 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 tick. Where do you put your stop loss? At the highest point of the top, which is where the stop loss is as of now. And then the other thing is, how do you put your target? We usually go for an 80% ATR target over here. How do I get that? I go on to my daily time frame. I look at the bar from yesterday. I come and correlate it over here, which is about 74 points. I take 80% of that, 80% of 70, which is about 56 points. And then what I then do is I take it from the high of today and I subtract 56, and that's how I got the 4993. Okay, this is towards range capture. If your strategy is towards a range capture, that's how you can set your target. However, I know, Gavin, you and your team, they don't like to put targets. You can just keep trailing it as well if you want to do that.
I'm doing this right now. I'm talking to them. So it's hit 7360. We've got a new target.
All right, nice one. So you know what? So I've talked about all the rules already that you guys can do. Now I'll pass over to Gavin. Gavin, you can show your screen on the NASDAQ.
Just one sec, guys. Just one sec. What's your target? I agree. Concur. Go ahead. Add another 10 lots. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry. Right. Let's get going. So
yeah, you can show that.
I'm in this trade. So I'm just focusing on the NASDAQ at the moment. We've got trade on gold and something else. This is going to go down the toilet now, but everything in the setup is completely clear. So what I'll do is
let me share your screen. Yeah,
I'll do that now. Yeah, and can everyone tell me when they can when they can see my screen? The 60 target was hit pretty quickly, and this is a complete setup, and it's all based on Smart Center Pro and SMI, which you can see on your screen. Can you see that?
Yeah, here. I can see. Yeah.
All right. This is what I call blood red. It's where you can make your money if the market's weak. Now, everything aligns. You hear all the little doorbells going. It's from the NASDAQ, actually, and the S&P. Now, I talked previously about the trap up move. That happened on the 5-minute chart. Okay, we're on a 1-minute time frame here. This is why I use Super Scalper. Super Scalper is using a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute time frame. You can make as much money in 5 minutes as you can in 5 days if you know what you're doing. And that's what Tiru and I teach. Now, you can also lose money. So what are we doing here? Is there a target? Well, I'll show you that I don't use targets. And the reason I don't use targets is it goes straight through. The target was 1760, which, I said straight away when it came down to this level, I knew where the support area was. It's taken it straight out. This is going to keep going. Now, it's going to hit the next level, which is 17330. Now, if there's no support coming in, I don't see any buying, then it will go straight through 17330. So from the initial call at 17360, which you saw, it broke straight down on a gotcha bar. Now it's going to keep going. Has to. Logical. There you go. Another alert. That's not my doorbell going off, which my cleaner thought it was. It's not at all. This is where the market is showing serious weakness. And all I'm watching now is the alignment, and I'm paying attention to here. If you look at this 5-minute, 4-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute chart on the NASDAQ or any futures contract, the pound as well, if it's all red, you want to look and pay attention for the indicators that are red. Okay, here, here, here. Okay, that's a 3-minute chart. I put the 3-minute chart up, you'll see the same thing. Okay, we can see here the weakness as it's come down. We can see here no demand. All right. If we put up a 5-minute chart, we can see the same thing, or a 1-minute chart. 5 minutes, you know, you can go bigger time frames if you want, but there's your trap. That's why it's going down. I did a whole video on this on YouTube. It's had, and the one I did with Ninja Trader a couple of days ago, again, hundreds of views already, heading up for thousands. Because if the logic is correct, the SMI indicator here, which I've overlaid onto Ninja Trader, is telling me the trend is down. It's not up. So I use the analogy of I live near the Bewley River here in the New Forest National Park. And if in the middle of the summer, it's 100 degrees, I want to go for a swim, the river is tidal. Okay, it flows out to sea and then it flows back in twice a day. If I want to go for a swim and I don't want to get tired, I go with the flow. That means if the tide is going out, I swim downriver towards the Solent. If the tide is coming in, I jump in the river and I swim towards Bewley, the town or the village. I go with the flow. This is the flow of price. There's no strength here at the moment. It's making lower lows, consecutive lower lows. Here, lower low, another lower low. Now, what do we look for here? You say, what do we look for now then? I've missed the trade, Gavin. I've just joined the webinar. We look for a clear BSA principle to appear. Has to be. You can't just go short on a down move because it'll go straight back up and kill you. Which is what I've been I've got several of my mentorship students here listening in who I'm teaching at the moment. And they're from all over the world, by the way, from various countries. You know, we've got one guy in Bulgaria, another guy in Poland, a guy in Colombia. I mean, all over the place. It's great because we all look at the markets in different ways, but you hear these doorbells going off, right? And that one that just came in was on the British pound. Now, the British pound, the 6B contract, I'm going to let this run, so are the team, but 6B is doing much the same thing. Okay? This is called an upthrust after a trap up move. But now, before I hand back to Tiru, so we can bring this all together for you, we're going to talk about these little things here, these little strange looking diamonds, if you want to call them that. And this is one of the strongest parts of the system. It basically, once we can see the SMI indicator telling me what the swing high, the swing low, the trend is, which is clearly down, and we have a system which is our dots which say it's down. We can clearly quite see up here where we had our sign of weakness, we had an SMI indicator confirming it, and then bang, down it went, and we had the upthrust. But now we're stuck because we've got what we call trend clustering. Trend clustering. Now, this is all based on support and resistance areas in the past. It's ironic that you can see over here to the left here where the support line was, where those clusters were below and it rallied, and now they're in the middle. It's uncanny how these work. But what's actually going on, the computer software, which it's very good at doing, is projecting out thousands of lines going back a long time. I don't know the exact number. And then projecting out where previous areas of support and resistance happened. Now you'll see the market stop here. It'll hardly move because it's in between two areas. Now, it's a 5-minute chart, but it will highly likely find support on these two clusters. Okay, so it's been marked down. It's bounced off it like it's doing now. Look at what happens to price. Quite incredible. Now, let me just say something. It doesn't mean that these clusters are impenetrable. I'll give you the analogy Tom told me. I said, well, these trend clusters, Tom, and we were talking about the old version. These are much more advanced. When the market appears to hit them, the price action just seems to stop. And he said, well, Gav, that's what he used to call me. Imagine you're driving a car and you've got to get through a hedge. There's a big hedgerow. And I don't recommend anyone does this. He said, but in order to break that hedge, if you're doing 10 miles an hour, you're going to hit it and bounce straight off it. You ain't going through it. And that's the volume. I'm not putting my foot on the gas, am I? So I'm going to drive up at this hedge. It's going to bounce off it and go, and I'm not going through the hedge. However, if I'm at the top of the hill and I accelerate to 140 miles an hour, which again, this is an analogy. Please never do this. I'm an ex-police driver, so I know this is not a good idea. I've been to enough accidents. You accelerate. And you've got the kinetic energy to push you and bump you straight through that hedge. Take the hedge out. I've seen it many times. You know, speeders, they're all over the forest here. And when they have an accident, it's serious because they're going too fast. Now here, we're watching live the hedgerow, but there's no one putting their foot on the accelerator at the moment. Would you all agree? The volume has just diminished. The SMI indicators have confirmed where the turning points were. That was confirmed right after the SMI indicator on the upthrust. But now, as we look at the support area, it's at a previous area of support, once, twice, 3 times. But does that mean there's not another great trade to the short side any minute? It doesn't. This has already made a very nice move. You can see what the system's telling us. And the good thing about this as well is if you look here, I'm using different time frames. I'm using the bigger time frames as well this time. I'm using something called sharpshooter, which is a strategy. Here, the weekly. Here, the 60-minute. Here, the 15-minute. They've all got a box around them. Why? Because they're telling me, and it alerts me through the system with a doorbell or a shotgun or an email, which I've got an email alert. I use GMX, that this is about to go down. Now, I'm going to hand back to Tiru now, who's going to explain the correlation, if he can, between volume and price action, because the indicators are coloured. You can colour them in various colours. So we chose yesterday to change the colours to blue and to orange. So you've got diamonds, but one of them, if you click on an orange indicator, you don't get a dialog box. If you click on a red VSA indicator, you get an explanation as to why no demand is present. And so this is your instrument panel. Tira, over to you. Can you explain a little bit about why this correlation seems to work incredibly well? It does work incredibly well. We've got a lot of people that we've got a big event tonight for all of our customers at Trade to Win. Is that correct, Tira? Is it 7 o'clock tonight? We've got a
Yes.
I thought so. I got something from Kieran saying yes. All right, good. I'm ready for that. So anyone that's a customer that's bought the Trade to Win program or bought SMI, or you can come to this event, and we're going to be setting the scene for the rest of this week and early part of next week. So for tomorrow's trading, which is going to be busy, and then next week. And I'm specifically, and I just before I hand over to Tiru, and you might want to have a look at this, I'm specifically going to be talking to you about some stocks that have triggered. Now, one of them, you can see a lot of them are in here, right? But you've got Tesla, right? Elon Musk. And we took a put option on this, several weeks ago now. Everything turned red, okay? And then over here, a few days ago, we got the no demand bar. It went down. And when you start to put Tiru's work over the top of it, does it work in stocks? I had an email about that. Of course it does. It's a daily chart of Tesla up here. Okay, it was marked up, narrow spread, no demand. Okay, low volume. Okay, but then down here we did get some support, which is interesting. But I want you to show you the weekly chart, because does this work in stocks? Of course it does. And there's the weekly chart, and I'll just put the open, high, low, close, because I think there could be an opportunity to actually buy Tesla at some point because of where we're at. Down here was where the buyer stepped in. You got no supply. Well, you've got buying in here, stopping volume, but then it all turned. And look at the SMI indicators confirming it. And then over here, 3 weeks ago, we got no demand and we carried on going down all the way down. Okay. The no demand bar was at about 190, I think it was, and it went all the way down to 140. Now I'm expecting a spring. This could be a great buy for Tesla if it sets up. It definitely hasn't set up yet. But you can see SMI says the trend is definitely down. Trade with the trend, swim with the river. Yeah. So the shorting opportunities happens when weakness appears. And weakness, two rules. Weakness appears on up bars 90% of the time. There's a few exceptions. And strength appears on down bars like this, which is a bar closing lower than the previous bar, stopping action. Once you understand this, you've got this knowledge with you for the rest of your life. And it's knowledge that's been around for years. And I'm right next to me, and this gives me great solace, is a book by Richard DeMille Wyckoff. It's actually a magazine. It's called The Magazine of Wall Street. And it discusses supply and demand and tape reading. And what Tiru and I specialize in is obviously supply and demand, price action. And then Tiru's gone one step further and he's introduced some quantitative ways of measuring where price is likely to go. I use a slightly different strategy myself, is that I don't try to predict, although I've been fairly good at it, but that's the trouble is with predictions. As soon as you get to your point where you say, oh, I know that's absolutely perfect. Like here, I said it was going to go to 1760, right? But it's now going further down. It's made a new low on this 5-minute chart. So Tiru, back over to you.
The main reason for inconsistent performance is due to not knowing the 3 critical strategy stats, which results in a weak strategy that fails to continue working. To overcome this challenge and construct sustainable, scalable, and reproducible strategies in a quantitative manner, the Smart Money Framework or market structure was developed by the quants in the 1960s. With this framework, you will have the 3 critical stats to help you construct optimal entries, stop losses, and exits towards achieving consistent performance. To find out more, watch our 7 steps to achieve consistent trading performance compiled from our 12 years of collated research and over 38 years of cumulative trading experience taught by institutional quant traders. We look forward to serving you on the inside.
How does volume spread analysis and your system, like you can see it's picked quite correctly, the move here, and we didn't do that in hindsight. We did it actually while we were in the seminar. And I gave the targets, so there's no argument there. So how do the two things work together, hand in hand? Over to you.
Actually, you know what, guys? I mean, we've explained this in many webinars before. Let me just share my screen. It's quite logical, isn't it? Think about this, actually, even without even looking at the markets. And now we got a really nice trade there, right? Going towards the target. I put a target there, but Gavin and his team will be trailing it more further. But why does price and volume work? I think most of you would have figured it out, isn't it? I mean, the best analogy I would give before I use the technical specifics is that think about in a car example, right? I always say price usually tells you the direction, okay? So in the car example, the price will be similar like a gearbox, okay? So if you put it in the forward gear, it's going to go forward. If you put it in the reverse, it's going to go backwards. Yeah. So that price tells you direction. The volume is like fuel in the car, petrol. Yeah. So think about this. Even if I put it in the forward gear, but if there's no fuel in the tank, how is it going to go forward? So this is the point. So they both must come together, isn't it? And the same thing, if there is plenty of fuel and the car is going at 200 kilometers per hour, but then the guy starts to change the gear and slow down. So it slows down, the price starts to slow down. And that is where Gavin talks about effort versus result as well, right? Because you've changed the direction of the car, even though how much you may accelerate, but you've changed the direction, it's not going to go forward anymore, isn't it? If you put the reverse gear. So then it's going to turn around, but it's going to slow down the momentum first. And then it turns, and which you can then see in price. So the same thing over here, traders, if I were to relate back all of that into this chart here, that's why we look for trend first using the market structure framework what we got. This work started back in the 1960s. In fact, if you guys want to learn quite a bit about the market structure, how it all marries up together, it's not you're not learning anything new. It's all in correlation with how the markets move, because no matter what market you see, it never moves in a straight line, it moves in cycles, right? Same thing for an uptrend as well. So if you want to learn a little bit, you can always go on the 7 steps to ctp.com for those of you who are watching in from the YouTube channel. For those of you already in the Zoom channel, we'll be sending you an email on it as well later on. Okay, that's complimentary. We'll just give that to you. But definitely watch this. There's a lot of years of research we put together, and the whole volume and the price will start to make sense. Coming back to here, once we got the market structure, which is this quantification of this bottoms and lows, what you see what has happened here in terms of price and volume is that once I got this price structural break, right, which is also supported by volume. Just remember what I told you, the gearbox plus the fuel, right, coming in together. When you get that, the price structural failure, breaking that particular price where we entered, you get a downtrend, right? The gearbox has changed. Supported with volume, that's when you get the big price moves happening instantaneously. And that is what you got to get good at. And when that happens, all confluence of factors will start to happen. But for that to happen and catch really high probability trades, you got to have patience. And I'm sure Gavin has said that many times. I've said that many times as well. It's a very important skill, patience, yeah, for everything to match up together. So that's how we are capturing these trades. I've given you all the 5 points over here as well on it. Let's go through the other ones that Gavin has talked about. We took a few other trades as well. I'll just give you some correlation on it. You see, for example,
Turu, take a look at the NASDAQ now, because we just added. Have a look.
So
NASDAQ.
Let me just show that now.
Yeah.
NASDAQ here, right?
Yeah. Going down the slope.
I think again, you know what? It's a very similar example, really, isn't it, Gavin, to the S&P as well. So if you guys take a look again, and yeah, I need to sort this one out. Let me just put another volume for now.
Well, I can tell you it's going to 17,300 is our next target. So yeah, it's got all the signs of weakness in VSA in the background. It's got the trap up move. It's got the SMI indicators confirming it. It has to go down. I mean, I said this in the webinar in Ninja Trader. I did a similar trade. So there's no strength supporting the market here. So if we look at everything that VSA and SMI teaches us, it's on that chart. If you don't believe us, this is live. You know, we're broadcasting this to I don't know, thousands of people, but it's live, and it's correct, because you've got the trap up move, you've got the change in behavior, you've got the red diamonds, you've got the red sits indicators in VSA, you've got the SMI indicators confirming it. You talked about the truth of trading. That is it.
Yes, it's true.
That is it. I can't do anymore. I I mean, you show this. I am going to Saudi Arabia in a few weeks, and going to be meeting with Mustafa, and I'm just arranging the timings of that. But to open our office. But this works with Saudi Arabian stocks. It works in stocks.
Correct. It works with everything.
17,300 is the round number. It'll be drawn down there, but it might not get there straight away. It'll probably take another, I don't know, hour maybe. It may go straight away. Depends how weak it is. But it goes to the round numbers. Okay. Now, when I was looking at the other round numbers, it was all based on the trap up move. It's a very strong VSA indicator, and all of our scanners in Smart Center Pro, which is what I'm using, search for that indicator on its own. They don't search for anything else. They just look for that. It's a very serious sign of weakness, because the effort is in the volume, which is high. The result is in the closing price. It's one of only 10 indicators in VSA that are on a down bar, meaning the bar is closed lower than the previous close. There's only 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that again, when I say weakness always appears on up bars, I contradict myself, because quite clearly that indicator appears on a down bar. The bar, and when I define a down bar, it's a price bar that's closed lower than the close of the previous bar. Hence a down bar. Right, we're going to hit the target any minute.
Yeah,
Now,
it's just about 10 points away.
yeah, it's not a target. I'm not going to close anything. It's going to go straight through it. But I don't care because the targets are there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I use point and figure and Cargill charts, which projects these out, which is what I'm teaching in the mentorship course. But even regardless of those, you can see that the volume is the direction. There's a gotcha bar, which is in my book, that just appeared on a 5-minute chart. It's there. Now, again, it's all well and good doing this in hindsight, isn't it? But Turu and I traded at the London Traders Show, and we both took trades. Very confident in our ability to read markets and take trades, and we didn't lose any money. In fact, Turu confirmed that we didn't lose. We both made good trades. There's another.
And then we we took it live even on the Traders Challenge accounts as well. This was on the London Investor Show. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we showed it even live as well. I mean, the same thing is happening here, guys. What you can see is the price structural failure happened over here with volume confirmation, which you can see, and the SMI dot coming, confirming it's a downtrend phase 1. So the same thing here that's happening. And based on that, your entry is here, the fuel in the car, the volume, and the gearbox confirming, right, the direction. And that's where you come in. And then check with these 5 rules that I've given as a guideline. I think that will be a good thing for you guys to refer to, and you see how both these methodologies complement each other and work together. Definitely you can do that. I think a couple, any other stocks? I think you were talking about Tesla as well, wasn't you?
Yeah, hold on just a sec. I'm just going to, just 1 sec.
Yeah. I think as Gavin is on there, let me just...
Tesla, yes, definite. And the other one that you probably want to look at is Baidu, B-I-D-U.
B-I-D-U, yeah.
Go ahead with that. Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Go ahead.
All right. So Tesla, as you can see over here, that's in a downtrend phase 2, as you can see. The best trades are usually when it's in a phase 1 traders. That's what we are looking for. It's in a short retracement at the moment here on Tesla. Baidu, I was taking a look at Apple as well, wasn't we?
Apple's good. I've got that on my list as well. I mean, I can tell the audience exactly what we're looking at Wyckoff Williams. We're looking at Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, eBay, Tesla, Costco, Baidu, eBay, and then we've got JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, which are really good. Nvidia, Adobe, Garmin. Those are the main ones that we want to be watching for. But I can cover those towards the end, and then we can take some questions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think we're coming near to time as well. I think those were the main things what we wanted to show you guys today when both these approaches combined together. We did look at a few others as well. For example, we did look at gold today as well. We did on our strategy rules. Remember, certain parts of our strategy rules and how we enter might change, but the methodology almost remains very similar. That's all comes down to your strategy construction, which me and Gavin will teach you on the mentorship course as well. Now, in this example here, we did get an entry signal here for our stop loss over here, but we did trail it once it got cleared from there. But we had a big seller bar after that before we got to our target, but we did capture a bit of profit on that one. Most of the trades that we take, usually traders, if you want to keep your drawdowns quite clean, we take it on a phase 1 move. Yeah, and that's what we had today on gold, which was on a phase 1 move as it took out that high. However, on Brent oil that we had today, we had a signal on that, but that was a phase 2 move. So that's why we stayed away from it. We didn't really want to take that move. Yes, we can look back at hindsight and say, oh, thank God we didn't take it. It went against us. That's not the way. We follow a set of rules which gives you an edge finally. Again, if you put that thing together, this was the second point which I said, right, where the SMI confirms where trend alignment is there. and you got a phase one move is what I'm talking about. So I didn't get that with the Brent oil with the stretch confirmation. So even though it took the upper stretch line, but the trend was a downtrend phase two. So it's not correlating. And then that's why we did not take that particular trade along with all the other signals that we got with the volume and everything. However, some will be really stand out in front of you, and that's the obvious ones that you would like to take. Again, on silver, we had another signal over here as well. It took out the upper stretch line towards the upside, uptrend phase one, bingo. We had an entry around here, stop loss for here, trailed here once we got the big bar here, but then we did get stopped up for a small loss here, combined with a bit of confirmation from the volume, not total confirmation. We did take a reduced risk on that. But however, you see the S&P, right? It was just off. It's just so obvious, the trade where you got a phase one here, right? Everything aligns. The Smart Center Pro scanner all firing off, aligning SMI, saying that trend alignment is there. Phase one is there. SMI dot coming in as well, confirming towards that trend alignment. Volume, big spikes over here, confirming that move in that direction, and the lower stretch line being taken out as well. See, everything aligning. And that's when you can go in for a higher percentage risk on your account as well, once you get the confidence. I mean, this is how I would look at it. We're giving you more rules today in alignment with all of that. I mean, Gavin, you want to finish off with maybe the last few trades, then we take a few questions in then?
Sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't see the questions panel, but you probably can. So, yeah, let me just take the screen, and then I'll just show you what we're looking at. Well, very good day's trading so far, obviously, and I think it's going to be a very busy week next week. I think next week is going to be perfect. The reason for that is there's a lot of markets topping out, and there's some that are being accumulated where you wouldn't expect it. So a lot of opportunities. Let me put the screen on, and we'll just
That's
focus.
I think as Gavin is doing that, and the S&P is getting towards our target as well at 4993. Any questions you guys got, please do put it into the chat box as well. And as we said, for everyone who's on the webinar today, you will get the 7stepstoctp.com sent to your inbox. So check out that. Definitely highly worth it to check that. That was the Ninja Trader kind of material that I gave in the interview, which had 25,000 views in 2 months, okay, along with the volume confirmations as well. And later on today, those of you who want to join us as well, you can join us on the paid members only event at 7 p.m. today. MMS Live, we call it a monthly momentum session live, where we look at our performance review, some inspirational video to keep you in momentum, and also some upcoming potential trades as well. That's at 7 p.m. if you guys want to join us. Everybody who's got price and volume, SMI and VSA indicators, usually will get also the live trading room and all this knowledge and live sessions that we do every day, and that we give signals in. And also once a month, we go into the exclusive group where we talk about all of this, where you ask us in-depth questions as well. All right, I guess that's that. Yeah, Gavin, if you want to go through the last few.
I'll just finish off with looking at some of these stocks, and we'll just go to the Smart Center Pro scanner at the moment. Now, we did expect a bounce off this low. It nearly hit 17,300, and then it's just popped. I do think it will come through it, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. But we looked at this particular instrument, okay, and this is the symbol is INTU for those of you. It's on the S&P, and I'm using different time frames here, which I've never shown properly until really last couple of days. And we can see here we've just got actually the Nasdaq is just showing something set up there. But does this work for stocks? Well, these new time frames are quite remarkable. Okay, so you don't with Ninja Trader, you can get free end of day data, right? So if you're an investor in stocks and you're not worried about the swing moves on a daily basis, then these are the new timeframes that I've developed for the strategy that I'm teaching in our mentorship course. And we're doing one in May, and we're going to focus on stocks, futures, but this works for crypto. Quite incredible. Now, how do you do it? Well, if I just come here and I want to add a chart, and we can add anything, but we'll just add a chart, right? And we can add anything. You could cryptocurrency, right? So you could do, any of these, the BTC, GBP, BTC, USD, okay? And you just click here in NinjaTrader and say, okay, bring me up a chart, okay? And there's our chart. Now, if I want to add in Tiru's work and our work, the first thing I'm going to do is do a template, but I've got a new template, which no one's yet got, but in the mentorship course, I'm going to give it to you. It's the Wyckoff-Williams template. Okay, and it's different timeframes. All right, and now on top of it, I'm just going to right click, very easy, click on indicators. And I'm going to scroll down from my available indicators and look for the Smart Money Indicator Elite, which is Tiru's work. I'm going to apply it. And let the data come in, and then I'm just going to click OK. Okay, so it's there. Now I'm going to come up to Smart Center Pro. I'm going to scroll down to Bitcoin. Now look. Now it's using the same time frames that I'm using for the stocks, and it's just as powerful in Bitcoin and in Ethereum and in the other things that I've been studying very closely. And I'm going to do another course, because we've learned a lot more about cryptocurrency trading. Whilst it's perceived as incredibly high risk, which of course it is, we can't argue that crypto hit 70,000, 75,000. It did. So as an investor or trader, you need to be aware of this, because it is going to be the future. I'm sorry, it is. That I know. And when I saw here, the daily chart here in crypto, all right, and you squeeze this up a bit, you can see where the weakness appeared. It was definitely there. They sell it, supply, and it falls. But then they buy it back. And that's about to be what's about to happen. The next thing I'm looking for is for that to turn green and the 3-day to turn green and take a much longer term view. And if you understand that, then you can definitely read the crypto charts. Now, going through a couple of quickies here, Adobe, massive upthrust before the gap. It was to do with earnings.
Gavin, just a quick one on the Bitcoin. I think it just aligns with everything with the cycle framework as well, because on the daily it was telling you that it was on the down. If you want to put a scanner up,
Sure.
I think this would be good for the guys to understand. They can see it here on NinjaTrader as well. It's saying that the trend is down, right? Which is aligning with what you're showing on the Bitcoin.
On the daily, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? But then if you just show the weekly time frame on the chart,
yep.
If you can just change that to a weekly.
Yep.
Right? And they can actually see that on the weekly, you see it's a trend up. But remember what we said, traders, and that's what it's showing on the scanner as well. Nothing can keep going in a straight line forever, isn't it? It's just the way that markets move, yeah? The bottom got confirmed many weeks before, as you can see the signal coming there with the dot confirming of that whole bottom to top move, right? I think if you can move your mouse to where the silver arrow is, Gavin, can you see the last silver arrow of that whole upward move for Bitcoin? Yeah, exactly, over there, the last one. Yeah, just there, exactly. And the dot coming at 4 bars later, where also your volume signal came in as green as well. That is one of the perfect, beautiful signals we have seen. In fact, some of the clients who have been following closely our VSA and SMI methodology have come to both me and Gavin in seminars and say, Tiru, man, Gavin, I've taken a look at it on a glance, but when both of the signals fire off, they give big monster moves. This is what we got over here, traders. And you can see that on the weekly. Look at that big swing move that it did. But as I said, nothing can go in a straight line forever. Look at the open equity is diminishing. The straight line has gone for so long until the highest point. If you want to move your mouse there, Gavin. And that is where and then the market has got to take a turn, isn't it? Some guys will take the profits, and profit taking starts to happen. Or in other words, a top starts to form, which our SMI will identify it as a phase two. So it will be an uptrend phase two. But as Gavin says, the smart money will then come back in again because they're holding on to the positions, and it will then revert back to its uptrend phase one back once again, right? And then it will go upward even more further. So that's what all the scanners and signals are doing. Depending on your time horizon, then you can hold on to the trade for how long you want and your target objectives. That's
And
what I just want to add that, yeah.
brilliant. And these are two great indicators in an uptrend, right? And the bigger the time frame, the bigger the move.
Yeah.
Right. So those indicators came in at 40,000 and everything was green. Everything was green. The SMI indicators had confirmed everything was there. If it was there in hindsight, it had to be there in foresight. End of story. Now, finally, before I hand back over to Tiru, let me just show you something. So my wife, Laura, is on. A couple of people are emailing me with questions. And I know we're going to get a lot of that. So the best way, let's get rid of the admin bit of this, is if you've got questions about Tiru and I's mentorship course that we're going to be doing and all of that, just come to tradeguider.com, click on the Learn More button, and then you're going to see there will be a little live chat button, which hopefully will appear if it's switched on. Is it switched on? Oh, there we go. Okay, so just click on that. It comes up with a chat now area. Anything we can help you with, we'll help you with. If it's trading related, then it's me. If it's support related, fill out a ticket because that's how we do it. If it's a question for Tiru and you want to use this particular method to get in touch with Tiru, we use WhatsApp, Tiru and I. Happily, we can talk to you there. But my wife Laura would be happy to assist you in any way, shape, or form. A couple of you have been asked about how can I get the two products together. All you do is our other company is called Trade to Win, which is where Tiru's work is incorporated into our website. Okay, and you can look at the packages here. Come down, click on SMI software, that button there, and you'll see what we've just been using. Okay, and it explains everything. So you can just go here. It tells you exactly what it is. It's got a video. Everything we've just shown you live is.
Gavin, just a quick update. I mean, the S&P has just hit the target.
Okay, let me just
at 4993.
Okay, let me just check something as well.
I think, and we've done that live as well, traders. I mean, you've seen all the alignment. Hopefully, it gives you the confidence to find these trades by yourselves when you use both of these indicators in combination. I mean, what Gavin was just showing, SMI and VSA together, the landing page, is where you can find out more about both of these indicators as well and can get a hang of it. And you can ask them on the chat box if you need any questions as well.
Yeah, go ahead. So, yes. Yeah, they're just saying that this 17300 is about to get hit in the next half an hour. Okay, that's fine. Good. All right, Tiru, great. So I'll see you at 7. Well, what time do you want me to log in? About 6:45?
Yeah. So I think 6:45 would be great. Yeah, and we'll see you. Some of you here who are already on the paid side of things, paid members, and the others want to get onto it. I think it's what Glenn has posted over there, which is that link where you can find out more about SMI and VSA. Highly recommend you guys to do that because I think it will solve a lot of the inconsistency you guys are facing. Quick point, just one question has come in. With VSA Lite, they're asking, with VSA Lite being newer, do you find it more valuable or accurate than the full VSA tool?
Oh, that's difficult. That's a difficult question to answer. I mean, the VSA Lite is a different rule set, but it's based on the same stuff. Where I see the value in what we're doing with Smart Center and Smart Center Pro is the scanning. I mean, you've just seen all the scanners firing off alerts. You can't do that in TradingView. So the TradingView product is aimed at, the mass market, which is 50 million users, I think. So it's got 6 indicators in it. Does it work if you apply it? Yeah, it does. But having said that, it's like going to a car showroom and saying, right, I want to buy a Mercedes, which has happened to me. And I walk in and they say, well, what's your budget? And I say, well, £250,000. I said, well, straight over to this top of the range Mercedes. It does this, it parks itself, it does that, it does that. Or if I walked in and said my budget's 25,000, they've actually got a little two-seater, which I don't think you and I could fit in, Terry, but you can buy it. It does different things. Okay. I mean, this is for professional traders. Smart Center Pro with SMI on it is for people who are serious about making big money. But there are a lot of traders out there who trade a £500, £1,000 Forex account, can't afford that, but want to be able to use VSA. And that's why we introduced Trade to Win. And it's been successful. We've got thousands of subscribers. So it does work. And again, it's like everything, though. It's what you said, patience. You're paid to be patient. And, you know, I've been patient with this trade. You can see that it's hit multiple targets. It's still coming down. But it's all based on that and your indicator right there. It's unarguable. And I'm saying, I talk as an ex-police officer. If you're giving the evidence to the jury and you're showing it live, take your pick. You know, we're showing you as it happened. We gave you targets. We showed you what it's doing.
It's true.
And I said to Richard, my business partner, I said, look, what else could we do? Nothing. The best way to show it is show it live, show the system, show why this is going to go down the toilet, and then show and say, look, we can teach you this. We can show you this. We've been doing it, I don't know, 25. I've been doing it 25 years. You've been doing it, I don't know. You come from a medical
14 years. Yeah, all 14 years.
So I come from a police background. You come from a medical background. So the two of us combine very well together. And the reason we do is because we both look at the same things, but in slightly different ways.
I mean, yeah, we caught this line, as you saw, right? S&P, isn't it, on the 500? It's hit that, and then now it's retracing a little bit. So you've seen, guys, all the 5 rules we've given you, isn't it? Definitely look at that. Put these both indicators onto your screens, and then analyze it. Ability that your trading will start to improve. You will understand the charts a bit more better, definitely much more better. And with the guidance and the mentorship of us over a combination of over 40, 50 years of cumulative experience, you definitely will know that you're in good hands. I think with that, I think we can do a wrap up for today, isn't it, Gavin? I think.
Yeah, well, we'll see a lot of people in the event at 7 o'clock tonight. Look forward to it.
All right, traders, we will send off the 7 steps to CTP for those of you registered on Zoom. For those of you on YouTube, you can go to 7 steps to CTP. CTP standing for Consistent Trading Performance.com. And you can get your free video series on learning the market structure and also on the volume that we've spoken about today as well. All right, traders, I guess that's pretty much that from us for today. And as we always say, till the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.
Take care, everyone.